Haven't streamed in a while. I figured why not? It's the new year, might as well. But today, I think I wanted to rank the games I played in 2024 because a friend of mine, Sigma, linked a video to me and it made me think about like how my past year of gaming has been. Like, was it satisfying? How was the games I played? Like, were they worth my time? Like, how much did they bring me joy in the end? So I wanted to, like, I went to my Steam review. What was the Steam does this thing where it's like it tracks all the games you play and it's basically just lists them all for you. And oddly, I don't play that many games every year. I think I looked at my 2022 game like Steam review and it said I only played 20 games in 2022. I think in 2024 I played like 41. I think 35 is how much I played. But this doesn't count certain games that I play outside of Steam, so mobile games and whatnot. But it was a very interesting idea, so I figured why not? So I had already prepared it. Basically, my tier list. So I have a decent amount of games that I started playing in 2024. Some were for like very brief moments. Some I did like full on. I dedicated so much of my time to playing these games. And then there was a few others where they were there for the moment and then they kind of faded away. Like I never really ended up playing them too much after that. So I'm very curious to see where it ends up for me because a lot of games I felt like took a lot of my time. So let's go over the tiers. So I have my game of the years or games that I think were solely worth my time. Like I never thought I would end up playing them. Like, or actually not really that. I think that applies to some games, but like games that I didn't expect for me to really fall in love with, and were games I look back fondly of and be like, I kind of want to play that again, or I wish I could experience it again, or just kind of go through that happiness, or like it might even just mean something to me. I have games I put in great time playing. Probably just like the average game where I enjoyed playing it. It was a game I think is just like the middle of the road. Not bad, not good. Like I wasn't excited for it. It just kind of was there. There's was played to pass time. Like games that I think were just really just filler for me. Like there's a few games where I think I played them because I was just in between life moments where I just needed something to get my hands on. There's games I have wasn't for me. Of course, pretty straightforward. Like just games I just didn't like enjoy playing in the end. Then I have disappointed, and this is. I feel like if you know me, you probably know specifically one game that will be going in this category because I was not very happy with it. But besides that, see, so the first game is actually always like the most played game on my Steam's list, and is Mabinogi. I grew up playing Mabinogi. I played Mabinogi when it was in its closed beta, hosted by Nexon. I remember playing Maple Story, and at the time I saw the the closed beta test for Mabinogi. Sign up now, and ever since then, it has been my childhood game. Honestly, why is why do I have the ads so frequently? What the heck? Settings, monetization, ads. Yeah, I already have it pretty low. I don't know why it's... Let me see if I could just turn off ads for an hour or something. Honestly, I'll just let it roll. It doesn't matter at this point. Why is it so annoying? Okay, but basically I grew up playing Mabinogi, so it has always been that game for me. Like whenever I find myself like lost or I just need something to pass the time, Mabinogi's always been my comfort game. Of course, I will never put it in the game of the year because I know it is fundamentally a very flawed game. It is very pay to win. The people who play it are not exactly the most friendly, but to me, it got me through a lot of dark moments. Like a few years ago, when Final Fantasy was not a safe place for me anymore, like Mabinogi will always be there. So I will put it in a great time playing because I always enjoy my time playing it. I always come back to playing it every so often. I had like a moment like a few weeks ago where I just played it a lot. So I was surprised to see this in my Steam list. Was Power World released in 2024? I legitimately do not remember Power World. It says I last played it in February 2024, so I'm assuming I did. Like, okay, no. Power World was officially launched in 2023. Okay. But this one is not necessarily 2024. I think it was just like I played it a little bit in 2024. I'll be putting in it was a game. Oddly, I think that Power World was definitely a product of the time period, I think. Like, I don't think we'll ever see anything get to that level of hype that Power World had. Like, Power World was like the #1 most played game on Steam. Like, I have no idea how that happened. It's still such a crazy phenomenon to me. But I enjoyed my time playing Power World. It was fun. I liked the automation part of the game. Like, I remember working and like having my Power World open on the side on my personal computer, just playing it like every single day. But I think it was a game. Like it was a product of its time. Overwatch 2. So Overwatch 2 is a very interesting one because I never played Overwatch 1 that heavily. Like this is a absurd thing to tell people is that I played bot matches mostly in Overwatch. I never was the person to play actual Overwatch until like the actual PvP matches until I had my friend group sort of roped me into playing it every single day. And I really did enjoy playing Overwatch, but then something shifted when they did that one revamp where they redid the DPS passives and everything. Like, I do not really like the way that they changed how the game was being played, essentially. Like, I didn't like the passives. It made me feel useless. I played Lifeweaver, who was already such a very niche character, and I felt like the DPS passive just made it so miserable. Like, I was just not having fun, and I think because of that, I quit Overwatch at the time. But I think I will still put it in it was a game because I enjoyed my time playing it. But like right now, I'm in a weird situation with Overwatch where I like 6v6 Overwatch only. And I think it's because Marvel Rivals. Marvel Rivals, which will be... Actually, I could probably rank it soon. But basically, Marvel Rivals is the main competitor for Overwatch 2. And I'm kind of indifferent. Like, I hate it, and I like it at the same time. There's things that Overwatch does better. There's things Marvel Rivals does better. Currently, I feel like Marvel Rivals is very floaty, is the way I describe the combat. It feels so floaty, is the only way I can describe it. Like, Marvel Rivals, I feel like the aiming is not consistent. I don't feel like I'm hitting people. Like, I know my crosshair is right there, but when I shoot something, it doesn't connect. And it's a little bit frustrating. I feel like where's Marvel Rivals? Right here. I think I'm gonna put Marvel Rivals also in It Was a Game. Because right now, there's things I like of Overwatch, there's things I like of Marvel Rivals, but there's also a lot of things I hate about both of them. I want to see where Marvel Rivals goes with their updates, because I think currently it's in a weird space of like, if they keep releasing duelists, like the fighting characters, I don't know if I will continue playing it. Because it's already so hard to get a tank, it's already so hard to get healers. And also, this is something I ranted about before. I think Marvel Rivals is only going to be really nice to play in competitive play. Because quick play is a shitfest when people have bots on your team. People don't want to play roles. Like, being forced to solo heal 5 duelists, it's not fun. That's why I think Overwatch fundamentally has the role queue as a right move, because it fixes some of those issues. But I digress. Those two I think will be going in It Was a Game, because I don't know. I want them to improve. I really want them to. The next one is going to be Crowd Champion. So I'm going to put this in great time. I don't know what it is, but in the height of me just being very like depressed and I think lonely, I was just playing Crab Champion by myself. And low key, it was great. Just like finding builds I liked that would just obliterate the map. I would just binge YouTube videos and I would just jump around killing everything as Crab. And it was great. I like low key, it's in between like was played to pass time and a great time playing, because I think it was such a good game for me at the time where like I just needed something to do. Like those mindless PvE games, those are the type of games that I wish I can just grab and find one every so often. Like I recently bought I think, is it called Wayfinder? Is it Wayfinder? Hold on. I think it's Wayfinder. Yeah, I recently bought Wayfinder. So I'm hoping Wayfinder might be that game for me where it's just like a mindless PvE game that I can just grind, kill stuff while I'm like watching videos or something. Because sometimes when I do like these watch parties with my friends from Final Fantasy, I want to have something to do while I'm just like watching these shows. So I feel like Crab Champion is one of those games that'd be great. Eternal Return, or previously known as Eternal Return Black Survival, was a great game that I sort of got reintroduced to by a friend. And I don't know what it is, but like it kind of scratched that itch for me where it's like playing these games that normally I wouldn't. I feel like that's kind of my 2024 like situation, is just playing games I thought I wouldn't and just low-key really liking them. And Eternal Return is one of them, where I found it very fun. But right now I think it is suffering from a small player base. And the ones that do end up playing it are the dedicated ones. So when you run into those dedicated players, as a new player, it's so hard to really like fight against them in that situation. I could actually talk about it right now. I have that issue with Deadlock. So Deadlock, I really, really wanted to enjoy, but like I didn't play for like maybe the first 2 weeks of it being out. And the next time I tried it, I felt like I was just being stomped because it felt like people already figured out how to play and how to play it right, that I felt like I had no learning chance. So I want to put Deadlock in was past the playtime because I think it was a. Don't get me wrong, I love the art style of Deadlock. I love the art direction for Deadlock. I love the design of Deadlock, but I don't think I can actually play it. It's like League of Legends to me, where I don't play League of Legends for the laning phase of the game. I play ARAM. So for me, Deadlock is just like, I wish I liked it, but I don't think it is a game for me. Actually, yeah, I'm gonna put Deadlock in wasn't for me. Looks fun. Tier list is a nice idea. Yeah, like low-key, it's for me just to like talk, because I mentioned it right at the beginning, but my friend Sigma linked a video of this creator who was basically talking about his relationship with games. And it really made me think of like how I spent my time playing certain games this year, and like sort of putting it into perspective of like what I like, what I don't like. It kind of was just like, it's a good way to reflect on the games I played and talking about what I didn't like about them, what I loved about them. Suspense for Game of the Year. Honestly, there's probably going to be a few games in Game of the Year, just because I think there are a few games that, to me, just were like a really good time for me. So you can even see like gacha games here. There's a lot of random assortments. Next is This Bed We Made. I will be putting This Bed We Made in great time playing. Oh, one of my favorite YouTuber is Gab Smolders. She's also, her name is Evelyn. She's also Jacksepticeye's girlfriend. She plays a bunch of cozy mystery, cozy horror games. No, cozy and horror games, not cozy horror. And she played this game called This Bed We Made, and I watched like the first 10 minutes before I was like, I want to buy this and play this myself. And you're basically a maid at a hotel, and you basically discover a murder. And you play as her, cleaning up rooms, snooping around a little bit, figuring things out, seeing things, encountering things. And then as the player, you determine how you want to snoop, how you want to meddle with this. Should you meddle with it? Like, it was just a very interesting game. And I only did it for one ending, but it was so interesting to me. Like, I loved the game. Like, I love these like less than like a few hour mystery games that you can just play. Like, I think that's something I want more right now, is that I don't want to sink 70 plus hours into a game when I could finish maybe 2 smaller games within that same time period. Like, dedicating so much time can be so exhausting. So This Bed We Made was a great game that I ultimately, like, it made me wish to find more of these short games. And I do actually have a few of them that I bought recently that I haven't played yet. Like Locomotive is a pixel train, I think, mystery detective game. I think it's like 10 hours, and I want to play it so bad. The next game is Inkbound. So Inkbound was a game that me and my friend group discovered where it's, I don't know how you describe it. Like, Inkbound. Co-op roguelike RPG. Yeah, I guess that's basically it. It's a roguelike turn-based RPG that you sort of use your moves to attack things, and then after you lock in, everything moves, and then you basically have to take your turn after. Super creative, so fun. Like, it's like it's an indie game. Like, they got praise a few years ago about how they removed all microtransactions, but I do know the studio is not in a good spot right now anymore. I think they said that they basically had to cut development for the game and they're just leaving it as it is, which is unfortunate, but it was a great time. I loved Inkbound. It was such a unique game to play. I kind of wish that more people got into it. Okay, well, this is going to be, I think, the first game going in a category. And it'll be Disney Dreamlight Valley going in disappointed. Because I know that this year was the year that I think Disney Dreamlight Valley went full force on just releasing paid expansions. And I don't know. I felt like I bought the game. I bought into the game when it was brand new, still really hyped. Like there was the whole like, oh, it's gonna be pay to play right now, and then it'll be free to play in the future. You just get paid to play early, and then they basically turned their word on everything, and they made everything paid into for the expansions. All the new content is now just paid access locked. Like it's a little bit disappointing. I was not happy. I didn't buy into any of them because it's like, surprisingly, I learned that I do not know a lot of Disney movies. I have not seen many Disney movies. So, I don't know. I was very disappointed with Disney Dreamlight Valley because they announced their second paid expansion pass. Was not happy about that. So, Disney Dreamlight Valley is the first game to go in the disappointment category. And also another first game to go in a category. This will be my first game of the year. Grand Blue Fantasy Relink was amazing. Like, I cannot talk. I could probably talk too much about Grand Blue Fantasy Relink. I remember playing Grand Blue Fantasy, the mobile game, for several years. And the rumors of Grand Blue Fantasy Relink being put out. And I was blown away of how good the game was. I loved playing it. Just learning different characters, picking up other characters. Such a good game that was not supported after April. Honestly, I was so disappointed. I was like, I was hoping that they would keep the game alive, add more to the game, because Grand Blue Fantasy Relink was so good. It was so good. I loved it. I think my main was my mains are Rackham and Rosetta. Great game. I cannot fathom of like, this is what I wanted in like a Monster Hunter, where it just felt quick, simple, fight the monster, get out. Like I think it's the first game to really do it like Monster Hunter. And the thing is, usually anime RPGs or games or like mobile game based games don't end up going well. Like Grand Blue Fantasy Relink was so good. It was so good. It was the right mix of like difficult and challenging. Like it wasn't one of those games where if you didn't try super hard, you couldn't clear the content. I loved Grand Blue Fantasy Relink. I loved the story. I loved everything about it. I love the art style. I'm really hoping that they make a sequel in the future. Like, I really want them to. Like, I don't know if they have the funds to do so, but... Because what was it? There's rumors that Grand Blue Fantasy Relink was supposed to be Dragalia Lost. They were supposed to make it like the Dragalia Lost RPG. That never happened because Dragalia Lost got unsupported. I don't know, but like, oh, man, please play Grand Blue Fantasy Relink if you haven't. It's such a good game. It makes me want to like replay it again, but the thing is, I think the game is in such a weird spot because you can't really... It's hard to play. The thing is, you can play it solo, but like playing with people was so great. it's just sad that I think the multiplayer is probably dead right now. Thinking about Dragalia loss makes you sad. Honestly, I am the same. Hold on, I need to open my window, it's so hot. Okay. But like, man, I love if you're curious, I have 285 hours in Blue Fantasy Relink because I did so much grinding. I did so much grinding for this game and I loved it. I bought DLCs for it. Such a good game. Okay. And then several people already know this, and I will stand by it. And I'm a Persona 3 Reload hater. So I'm going to be putting Persona 3 Reload in disappointing. When you played the game, the multiplayer was dead, though you played it on console. Oh man. Like I already felt like it was kind of dying around the last DLCs they released. Name a better rivalry than Nunu versus Persona 3 Reload. I am such a Persona 3 Reload hater. Like whenever I have to talk about like a story that like disappointed me or like a comparison of like I wish how a story was told better, I always go back to Persona 3 Reload because I was so disappointed with Persona 3 Reload's story. Like to me, I hate stories where the whole narrative is like some sort of greater power. Like I hate, it's a common thing in like JRPGs and other games of like only them referring to like the greater power or a greater being or a greater existence. So in Persona 3 Reload's case, they're talking about the concept of death. And it's, oh, death is inevitable. Death is coming for us. Death is here. Like death this, death that. Like, I don't know what it was, but like, I was so disappointed with Persona 3 Reload of like, I kept doing stuff and I'd be waiting and just waiting for something to happen and not for me to just be told like, it's coming, it's here, oh my god, like, can you feel it? I'm like, no, I don't get it. And I don't know what it was, but like, I think it could have just been like all the hype over the years of people saying how like Persona 3 Reload is their favorite Persona game of like Persona 3 is their favorite Persona game of all time. I don't know what it is, but like I was so disappointed with it that I just couldn't I couldn't like I just could not get into it. I was so sad. Like eventually I will play the answer. Once the DLC goes on, it's strange you connected with 5 then, as 5 is thematically the same but with Rebellion. But the thing is, I think along the way you connect with the characters more. Because to me, I understand the whole like I open new tab next. Like to me, Persona 5 was I like so this is me just defending my opinion, but like the whole greater power thing in Persona 3 is my issue of like I didn't feel connected to the characters. I didn't feel connected to the side characters. And then I guess the only thing I really was supposed to care for was the plot. But in Persona 5, you build this relationship with the characters. And thematically, it's about rebellion, getting to sort of fight against injustice that you are facing. I think thematically that, to me, has a better storytelling vessel to drive towards the player than Persona 3 did. Because Persona 3, it just felt depressing, or it felt like suddenly they're dumping information on me of like, oh, my family died, or I'm like, okay, that was a lot to dump on me, but like, oh man, I'm such a Persona 3 hater. Like, I'm so sad for I feel bad that I don't like it, because even my best friend, I think he says Persona 3 is his favorite. And we talked about it, and he's like, oh yeah, That's one of the major sticking points of Pre-3. The cast of characters feel distant and not like friends, so much that they added extra scenes and reload to make these casts feel more like a group of friends. Honestly, like, I think it helped a little bit, but it wasn't enough for me. Like, one of the moments I always grab onto is the awakenings. The awakenings always meant so much to me in the Persona games because it's like a very vulnerable point of like seeing the friend open up and awaken their persona, but you don't really see it in Persona 3. So like in a way, I just felt like I never connected to the characters. The only ones I really connected to were like Junpei, and it's because he had trauma. Man, I feel like maybe I should have just played Persona 3, the original version, over Reload, because like the video you sent me earlier, it's like it's very much what the old game was with a Persona 5 paint slapped over it to make it look better. And I'm wondering if just playing the original version would have made me appreciate the game more. Because it kind of made me think of like when I played Soul Hackers 2, where it just felt like it looked pretty, but there was no substance to it. And I'll probably have this same rant when I go down to Genshin. But yeah, Persona 3 is going to disappointed. It's just one of those games where it's like, I wish I loved it. I really, really wish I loved it. And I think it's because maybe it's just a product of its time. Because, yeah. Okay, this is a very random game, but it's called 64. I'm going to be putting it in was played to pass time, because I randomly found it on sale on Steam, and it's basically like an idle game. Basically, it's very aesthetically pleasing, like 64 Steam. Like, it's just this very aesthetically looking machinery idle game. Like, I don't know how to describe it. It's just so satisfying. It's basically a cookie clicker game. And I loved playing it. It was so cute. It was so satisfying. It was just so interesting to play because you basically set up like a factory. So like everything connects to each other. You need electricity. Certain things will mine the blocks for you. You have to constantly expand. Like there's a small story. I don't know. It was so fun to play. But it was only there for past time. I think I only played it for like a week. The Awakenings are so pivotal to the series now that it started with P4, though there is something analogous to Awakenings in the answer, but I don't want to talk about that. I mean, eventually I will get to playing the answer. I don't know when, because I have a huge backlog. But because my current backlog is Ace Attorney Investigations 2, AI The Somnium Files, I want to end up replaying it. I have I Am Future Cozy Apocalypse Survival. I have Locomotive. I have Luma Island. I have Wayfinder. And then I have all the Kingdom Hearts games, because I am currently dipping my toes in that. So I'm probably going to get to maybe the answer when it's like on a big sale, because I still don't think paying $25 is worth it when it was on sale. Palia. I'm going to put Palia in was played to pass time as well, because Palia to me was such a good idea. But I think the way that they approached playing the rest of the game was not my favorite. Because basically Palia kind of shifted towards doing more timed releases with Twitch drops and holidays, and I felt like I wish the game had more to it than one of those create your own fun type games. You're trying to make your way through Digimon Cyber Sleuth, but you're distracting yourself with the extra bot. Ooh, I kind of wanted to play Digimon Cyber Sleuth. I remember seeing it a lot online. But Polya leaned towards doing a lot of interesting releases. Like, okay, I'm one of those people where it's like, when I play a game, if I know that your audience is primary female, like a female audience, you need to at least try to release things for the fans that do play your game that are male. So Polya has this issue of like they only release outfits that are very, very catered towards a femme aesthetic. So dresses, Lolita dresses, like cat outfits, fully feminine looking outfits, dresses, skirts, everything. Looking at all MiHoYo games, there's nothing here for me. Low key, I could rant about that too. It's why for me, Honkai Star Rail is my favorite Hoyo game, because I feel like they at least release male characters that are useful every so often. But then you have Genshin, and then you have the boobily breasting Zenless Zone Zero, which is another game I will be ranting about later. But Polya to me is one of those games where if you're gonna create, if the game is going to be primarily create your own fun, I need something to cater to me. And because they they slowed down their release schedule, and then everything is mainly released towards female characters, I just couldn't get into it. And this year, like I kind of did put it on a shelf for a while. So I think it's was played to only pastime. This game surprised me, and it'll be going in one of my games of the year. I guess you could say third time's the charm, but I don't even know how. But I got really into Warframe this year. One of my friends, she said that she kind of grew up playing Warframe, and we were just bored out of our minds, and we were just like, let's play something. And basically, like, she introduced me into playing Warframe, and I don't know what it is, but this time it just clicked. Like, the mods made sense. Well, actually, I can't say that the story made sense. The gameplay made sense. And I just found myself really enjoying Warframe this year. Like, I don't have everything maxed. I don't have everything, like, done. But, like, Warframe this year, for some reason, it just clicked. And I don't know. I don't know how it happened, but I really found myself enjoying Warframe this year. Like the aesthetics, the characters, the builds, like I don't know, I really got into Warframe fashion, like fashion frame, like it was such a good way for me to pass the time before Dawn Trail came out this year because I needed something, and Warframe was just great this year. Ad break. Oh, there's an ad break. Oops. But I was extremely happy playing Warframe. Like, I don't know what it was. I love the characters. I loved the marketability of like, you can make your platinum through selling stuff. You could buy stuff with platinum. You can grind so much of what you need in Warframe without having to pay. I loved how generous the devs are with like platinum discounts. Like, I don't know. It took me so long to play Warframe to this level, and I absolutely loved it. Like, hold on, let me see if I can find it. My Warframe tracker. Like, I went so crazy for Warframe. Like, this is what I did for Warframe. Like, does this not look insane? Like, I made a whole spreadsheet to mark every single base warframe, the prime warframes, which warframes I put in the helminth, which ones are vaulted at the time. Like, I went so heavy into playing Warframe, and I don't regret it. Like, it was such a good time for me that I just loved playing Warframe. Like, this to me is still one of my favorite things I did this year. Yeah, like I went crazy. I went crazy playing Warframe. The Warframe is another game that I'm putting in Game of the Year. That looks like massive burnout to me, but that chart is impressive. Low key, it did lead to a little bit of burnout, but it was kind of perfect timing because I think my time where I stopped playing Warframe is what was when Dawn Trail released. So a lot of my time went into playing Dawn Trail. So I think Warframe was the perfect game to slot itself into right before Dawn Trail and right when I had nothing to do. Okay. The First Descendant. So I was extremely excited for The First Descendant because I got into Warframe. And I'm going to be putting The First Descendant in Wasn't For Me. Because I think they kind of are leaning a bit gooner with The First Descendant. I think especially because it is a Korean company, Korean devs. A lot of these characters are boobily breasting their way through these battlefields, and it's a little bit too much for me. Like, I was really excited for the game at first, but then like as they kept releasing more characters, it's just like a few of these don't really apply to me. There's like one of them that I really do like the look of, but I know that people make fun of him because I think his whole thing is about like his scent. And sure, people like that. I don't know. I never really gave it a proper chance. But maybe like Warframe, it'll be like third time's the charm where I'll end up getting into The First Descendant. I've heard that Warframe is a lot better than The First Descendant, plus now Path of Exile 2 is out for people. Yeah, I've heard about Path of Exile 2. I've never played Path of Exile, so I don't know what it's even about. I've considered trying to look into it, but I'm like, I have a lot of games on my plate right now. But The First Descendant, unfortunately, doesn't cater to me. Plus, I already gave Nexon enough of my money. I don't need to give them anymore. Raft. I'll be putting Raft in a great time playing. I played Raft with the same friend that got me into Warframe. And we would literally just have nights where it's like, want a Raft? And we would just play it. Like, I don't know. I just love the story. Like, she did most of the like technical stuff, but I did most of like the building, expansion, navigating, like that kind of stuff was just so satisfying. And I think it's surprising because whenever I watch people do playthroughs of Raft, most of them ended up quitting before they even got to any of the story. So when I looked it up and I heard, oh, there's story in Raft, I was like, oh, okay. I'm curious. And it was very interesting the way that they set up of like you have to navigate to islands. The islands will tell you more story. Yeah, Raft has a story. Basically, as you go through, there's coordinates, there's navigation, and basically it leads you to other islands. And the islands will trigger like a story event. Like you will encounter stuff you've never seen before. And it's so interesting. Like there's kind of like a pirate island, there's a industrial building, there's like a utopia. Like it's crazy. It was so cool. I highly recommend people giving Raft a chance of like finishing Raft. Because most people will do like Raft for like a collab and they do like the first 4 hours. How long did I end up playing Raft? Raft. I ended up playing Raft for 50 hours. And I loved it. It was really fun. Like, I highly recommend being able to play it. The next game is Duck Detective: The Secret Salami. I found this game because of a YouTuber named Gab Smolders, who I did mention before. She's Jacksepticeye's girlfriend. She plays a lot of cozy games like this. And I was very intrigued because Duck Detective it's fully voiced. It's very cute, it's very charming, but it's so short. Like when I'm telling short, it's like an hour and a half. And I did a very scummy thing of like, I bought the game, I finished it in like an hour and a half, and I returned it. Because I low-key felt ripped off because of how short it was. I feel bad for doing it. But like if your game is that short, I feel like the price should not be $15. Because I can get decent games that last significantly longer. So I put the game in was played to pass time. I feel bad that I did refund it, but it was so short. Like I am not joking. It is an hour and a half, maybe an hour. If you cut them off from finishing their sentences and just like click next text, the game could probably be finished in an hour. And it made me sad because I love charming games like this. I should play my own Raft World for once. Raft is very fun. I think it's fun to play with people too. I highly recommend. You played Mouthwashing, which was around a similar price, and I think it was 3 hours. Ooh. I've heard a lot about Mouthwashing. I heard that there's lore. I heard the story is good. I'm curious, but I'm worried it's gonna be freaky. I do remember a lot of people say that the game is more vibe scary than jump scare scary. So that it could possibly lead me into playing it eventually. The only world you were in was already done. True, you kind of got roped into someone else's world randomly. I feel like maybe I can put Mouthwashing on like a game I should play eventually. Oh, it's on sale. I'll add it to my wish list, but I don't know. I'm a huge puss. Like I can't with these type of games. Okay, another game a little to the left. I'll be putting it in was played to pass the time. I bought a little to the left on sale like so long ago. Finally got along to like finishing it this year. Really cozy, really what it caters to that audience. But for me, I have a nitpick of like when they have puzzles that can be solved a certain way, but the way I want to solve it is not an option. And that is always what sucks. Is like, I want to do it this way, but they won't let me. So that was a disappointment I had with the little left, but still very cute, really charming. I would highly suggest it if you've never played it and you want something cute and charming. I know there's like a daily system where you log in and it gives you a puzzle to do every day. Like, the next game I will be putting Satisfactory. If you haven't heard of Satisfactory, it is an automation system type base building game. And it's so technical. It's very intriguing that something like this is the game. I know that they're literal engineers and stuff. People make hardcore concept videos of like electricity production, energy use, like space. So interesting. Very high tech. It kind of went over my head. Like it was a lot of information. I'm going to be putting in It Was a Game where I think I enjoyed it. But again, my friend that I played Raft and Warframe with, she did a lot of the technical stuff. I was more there to collect resources, pathways, expand the base. The technical stuff was very, very confusing. Like, I don't know how people do it, because you need to have so many machines feeding into other machines, so many machines doing even more things that I was so overwhelmed with the game in the end that it was a lot. I don't think I can find myself playing Satisfactory alone. Once Human. I know that we did a collab stream for Once Human with the Kindle crowd. So it was Kyoko, Yen, Daz, Lucian, and I. And I enjoyed it, that stream, but I just never found myself going back to it. I think it's because it's zombies. I think I'll be putting it in was played to pass the time. Aesthetically, it's really cool. It's a really good concept. I think it's very similar to, is it New World, where everything resets every so often. So like you don't have your base forever, but I never really gave it a good chance anyways. Actually, I think I'll put it wasn't for me. Yeah, it was fun, but it is what it is. I dabbled a tiny bit into playing Smite this year. So I'll be ranking Smite and Smite 2 at the same time. I never really tried Smite growing up. I knew that it was a 3D MOBA. So when Deadlock came out, I think I was interested in trying Smite. And unfortunately, I think it does fall in the same category of Smite isn't necessarily for me. I feel like I would need someone to help me get into it because it is a lot of things going on at once. So I'll be putting it there for now. I feel like eventually once Smite 2 probably gets out of their alpha, I'll give it a better shot, but it will be there for now. Ace Attorney Investigations, I'll be putting in Great Time Playing. So Ace Attorney Investigations 1 is one of my favorite games of all time. And I get it. Hey, doesn't that mean it should be going in your game of the year? No, because I replayed the game and I got a little bit burnt out replaying a game I already knew the ending to. So I'll be putting it in a Great Time Playing, but was it necessarily worth the time? Maybe not. I didn't even get to playing Ace Attorney Investigations 2, and that's the one I'm excited for. It's still on my to-do list, my to-play list, so I'll hopefully get to that this year. Maple Story. Low-key, Maple Story doesn't even belong on this list. I didn't really play it all this year. I think I only logged in to do like an event. So I'm going to be putting it in was played to pastime. I think I literally just logged in to go look at an event, see what was going on, and then I logged out. Thorn and Liberty. Okay, Thorn and Liberty was a game I was actually very interested in because, again, I'm always on the hunt for MMORPGs. And Final Fantasy XIV is probably my most played MMORPG of all time, besides Mabinogi, probably. And I was like craving a new MMO, something to play with people. And Thorn and Liberty, of course, is published by Amazon Games. It's such a unique concept of like, you can do every single weapon on one character. And depending on what two weapons you use, you're basically put into an archetype of a role. So there's weapons that are leaning more tank, there's weapons that are leaning more support, and there's obvious DPS weapons. And of course, in the game, everyone is meant to do damage, but then there's the healers, which will be healing and doing less damage, and then there's the tanks who will be tanking and doing less damage. I wish I liked Throne and Liberty more. I think it's because Throne and Liberty relies so heavily on PvP that I just couldn't get into it. Like, it's organized PvP that it was way too much for me to handle, especially with like time restraints and everything. I think I'll be putting in Throne and Liberty, and it was a game. Like, it happened this year. I don't know if I'm happy with it. Will I come back to it? Maybe. I did officially uninstall it yesterday because I was cleaning out my hard drive, but I don't know. And I think if you follow me on certain socials, you might have seen this already. But another game of the year for me will be Metaphor ReFantazio. Again, I will be a Persona 3 hater for the rest of my life. When I was playing this, I loved the characters. I loved the personalities. I loved the voice actors. I loved the music. I loved the art direction. I loved that when I was playing this game, I could not guess what was going to happen. Of course, there's a few things that I did guess that I didn't know. But like, typically what happens is that when I play a game, I sort of in my mind guess what the twists are. What's going to happen? What's going to happen? What's the reveals? Like, what's the big things that are going to be revealed to us in the game? And Metaphor was so good. You just got that game from your dad. Ooh, I can't wait for you to play it. It's so good. Like, I think Metaphor ReFantazio is just so good. There's a reason why Metaphor ReFantazio got 2 big Game of the Year awards from 2 publications, because they knew this game was good. Unfortunately, JRPGs never win Game of the Year because JRPGs are just also a very niche audience. But Metaphor, so good. The gameplay, so good. The system, so good. The artwork, so good. Music, so good. Everything about Metaphor. Part of me wishes I did do like New Game Plus, but I don't think it's worth it when I have so many other games to play. But I will keep gushing over Metaphor ReFantazio. Like, if I was an Atlas, like me being an Atlas fanboy, my expectations going to Metaphor were very low after playing Persona 3 Reload, because I was worried. I was like, why is Metaphor so hyped up? Why do people like it that much? And now I get it. I do get it now. Like, such a good game. I can't wait for other people to play it. I want people to play it. It's so good. Okay, this is a controversial one. Monster Hunter Wilds playtest. This one showed up and I was like, oh, I have opinions. I'll be putting this in disappointed. Because boy, the optimization for Monster Hunter Wilds is so bad. It is so bad. Like, I was not prepared for how badly optimized it was. And the thing is, I do now know it's because I was streaming. Playing it when I'm not streaming, it's still bad. But it's not that bad as it was when I was streaming. So it was almost unplayable when I was playing it. So I'll be putting Monster Hunter Wilds playtest in disappointed. I'm hoping by the time that they release Monster Hunter Wilds, their optimization is going to be top tier, because I'm concerned. I don't want to be buying like a $4,000 PC to be able to play Monster Hunter Wilds. Like, you should not have to have an expensive PC like that to play a game. I could not even play it on low. It was that bad. Everything on low, everything minimums requirements. It was very, very bad. And I'm so sad. The next game is one of those few times I enjoy being a console player. I don't have to worry about optimization. Then I remember I can't play with 14 with mods. Oh my god. Honestly, mods aren't even that beefy. Like, people go crazy with mods. and like it's not even that bad. I think it's the people who play with shaders on. So when I take pictures, I do run shaders for Final Fantasy, and that slows down my PC a little bit. But mods do almost nothing. It's the shaders that hurt a lot. The next game is Idle Champions. What is it? What is the full name of this game? It's so long. Idle Champions of the Forgotten Realms. I played this just in passing because I kind of like idle games. I don't know. Call me weird. Like I feel like it's such a boomer thing of like playing like cookie clickers and idle games. But like I don't know. I like them. But this one, I don't know. I don't get it. It's a lot to take in. I think I'm gonna put it in was past to play was played the past time. I think I literally only really got into it just to pass time a little bit because I had nothing else to play at the time. So that's probably it. I know it's like D&D focused. I know it's like that, but my mind is like frazzled with how you're supposed to understand the systems in that game. So here comes the small mobile games section. Actually, let me just group all the mobile games in here. So we can just knock all the mobile games out. So, Genshin Impact. This one is tough. Because Genshin is a very interesting one. Because for me, I loved Fontaine. But I think Natlan is one of the worst stories Genshin has ever told. Because of how cliche it is. How there's so many unexplained things to it. For Fontaine, I would probably put it in Great Time Playing. For Natlan, I would probably put it in Disappointment. I think Genshin, I'll be putting it in It Was a Game. Like, I think it it makes me so sad because I loved Fontaine. Fontaine did the story so well. So cool. I loved the characterization. I loved the individual stories of every single character. I grew to really love Farina. I grew to really love Nuvolette, Risley, like Navia, like all of them. I really loved to. I really got to love all the characters in Fontaine, but because of Natlan, I compare it to Persona 3 Reload of like when there's this like greater power that they refer to as like all encompassing sort of a prevalent figure. I was just very disappointed with Natlan because they kept referring of like, oh, it's the abyss is coming, the ley lines are falling apart. Like we never see this, like we don't see it. And I think that's what made me very upset is like during Fontaine, I feel like we saw a lot happening in front of us. Natlan felt like a lot of exposition of things just being told to us. And I'm just like nodding along, like, yeah, yeah, yeah. And then I didn't like the fact that in order to get to know characters, I have to do in completely separate storylines. When now, like Fontaine, you sort of got to know the characters while doing the story. Like I didn't get that for Natlan. So, like, if I could, I would split the Genshin category. I would put Fontaine in Great Time, Natlan, and Disappointed. I think that leads, like, it was just a game to me. Like, it was a game. Yeah. Honkai Star Rail. This might be controversial. you did more side stuff than me, so you enjoyed it more. I think that's why. Like, to me, I wish that I got into it at the beginning, but I didn't. And then when I did it all, it just didn't make sense. And I don't feel like you being told, oh, you have to do all the side content to understand it, to me is immediate like negative thing. Or if I'm told that I need to do all this side story in order to get to know the characters, it's like, but why? Like, I want to be able to get to know more about a character just through interacting them with the story, main story, than having everything in side stories. And that's why I was a bit disappointed with Genshin. You've been a Genshin hater since it released. It's been one I never vibed with. Low-key, it's like, to me, it's very surprising because at the beginning, I liked Genshin, but then their second and third region just did not connect with me, so they lost me. So I lost my involvement in Genshin around Inazuma. And when Fontaine was about to release, I was very, very excited for Fontaine because of the aesthetics were beautiful. The music sounded beautiful. So I got into it again and I went through Sumeru and I went through Fontaine and I loved Sumeru and Fontaine. But I think maybe this is just a reminder to me of like, there has been stuff that Genshin released that I just did not like. And it's not one of those games where I connected with since the beginning. So I kind of, it's like I should have seen it coming that I wouldn't like Natlan because some of the storytelling has not been great. Honkai Star Rail, I think I want to be putting in great time playing because Star Rail to me is the better Hoyoverse game. It's quick, it's easy, the story is good, the voice acting is good, the animations are good. I think at this point, vastly prefer Honkai Star Rail over Genshin and Zenless Zone Zero. I think Honkai Star Rail will probably be my long-term Hoyoverse game because I've never had to wail on Star Rail. Like, the amount of times I've had to wail on Genshin because Genshin's rates are also just very bad. Like, they're similar, but the weapon banner is a lot worse. They only fixed it this year. And they did not recompensate for anything. I wish they did because I felt like I got ripped off pulling up for weapons back then. Like, to me, Star Rail will be that Genshin game for me because I love the story. I love how quick it can be. Like, I log in, play Star Rail for 5 minutes a day, all my dailies are done, and I finish the battle pass, no issues. But Genshin, they make you put so much effort for such little payoff that it makes me a little bit frustrated. Where you don't get any gems unless you explore the entire map. And I just don't have that time. So to me, Star Rail, I think it's because I don't want to put a mobile game in my game of the year. But Star Rail, great. Zenless Zone Zero, I'll be putting in wasn't for me. Because I think I streamed my first impressions of Zenless Zone Zero and he was so stylish. So cool. I thought I was going to really get into Zenless Zone Zero. But then as the leaks came by and people were talking about everything, the game was very obviously showing what audience they're catering for. And it's the Gooners. Because have you seen that new character? I think her name is Evelyn. Her cheeks jiggle. Like her ass jiggles. Like it is moving a lot. And that's enough to show who they're catering to. And I don't know. I think to me, it's the thing of like, if you don't release a character that I care for, I'm not going to enjoy my time. So I dropped Zenless very, very early. Bon Lycon is your boy. I wish I got him. Never did. Wuthering Waves. I am so glad I never got too heavily invested in Wuthering Waves. I'm gonna put Wuthering Waves in disappointed. Because, again, as the so-called Genshin killer, if you are only going to release waifu characters, I do not care. And that's basically what Wuthering Waves was to me, where it's like, they're only releasing women, and then they release one guy and he's free. And it just did not give me enough reason to want to keep playing. And again, I hate, like, I think this is just my thing of like, waifu characters just don't appeal to me. I don't like Gunnar bait. Exactly. It's why like games like Wuthering Waves and Zenless Zone Zero to me, I can't get into. Because it's like Gunnar. It's like they're trying to attract the Gunnars. Like the NSFW, it's so, if you're going to sexualize the woman, at least sexualize the men. And if you're not going to do either, I mean, if you're not going to do the men, it's like, get out of here. Like, I don't. So I'll be putting Zenless and Wuthering Waves in those places. Cookie Run Kingdom. I played a lot of Cookie Run Kingdom this year. I'll be putting it into those plays to pass the time. Because it's so quick, it's easy. The only thing I hate about Cookie Run Kingdom is that the meta shifts so quickly. So very quickly. It's not even funny how quickly it shifts. Like every single new character is meta. Every single cookie is meta. Every single cookie replaces an older cookie. Like, and the game is so generous. Like you don't even have to pay anything, and you get so much shit. But it's a little bit disappointing how power creepy it is. They had what was it? That was the Korean strike for Cookie Run Kingdom, because the Korean players were so angry at like how power creepy it was. Every new character's meta sounds like Fire Emblem Heroes. Honestly, like every cookie is meta. So I just could not, like, I'm gonna put it in was play the pastime because it's like, it's not great, it's not bad, but so disappointing. League of Legends doesn't belong here. Any other mobile games? No. Okay. So Pokemon Trading Card Pocket. I want to be putting this in great time playing. I don't know. I was never one of those people who liked opening Pokemon cards. Like I don't collect Pokemon cards. I don't. Well, I guess I kind of see the appeal because it's similar to like the blind boxes I collect, but like it's that appeal of just like the small amount of serotonin of just like opening a pack. Like even if I don't get anything good, it's just like it's fun to get a free pack every 12 hours. So I think Pokemon Pokemon Pocket is just great. Like these get free cards. I don't even do the battling. I literally play it like to collect cards, and that's fun. I think I already have almost every single card in the new pack, but it's fun. Farm Merge Valley. I think everyone knows my small addiction to Farm Merge Valley that happened in my period of struggle. I want to be putting Farm Merge Valley in great time playing, because basically every single day I would log in, open Farm Merge Valley, and then just like fuck around and just like sit here for 12 hours straight watching YouTube videos, playing other games, and I would just have Farm Merge Valley open on the side. I haven't had this like binge of just like playing it constantly in a long time. But it was great to play. I don't know. It just kind of helped fill a hole that I had for a bit. Okay. AFK Journey. I never got too into AFK Journey. So I'm gonna get, I feel like I'm just gonna put it in wasn't for me. Because I played is it AFK Heroes? I think it's called AFK Heroes. Oh, AFK Arena, that's what it's called. I played AFK Arena a little bit back in the day, and I kind of don't know how I feel about AFK Journey's monetization concept. Because characters are not limited, if I remember correctly. Every character gets added to the standard pool, and then basically when a character is added, they have their own exclusive banner for a little bit. And then the AFK Journey's issue for me is that every single character you need multiple copies. Like I'm talking like 10 copies of a hero to get them usable. And for a gacha game, I don't think that's really feasible. I think it worked in AFK Arena because that game was very generous and a lot of characters were in the pool. So you would just get so many characters so quickly. But AFK Journey is a new game with gacha systems that are very similar to Honkai, Genshin. Pools are expensive. And I felt like AFK Journey was heading in a direction where I just did not find myself playing. Like if every character is going to be needed, every character needs multiple copies, it gets exhausting. Okay. This year, luckily, I think I played the least amount of League of Legends I've played in many years. Like, for the past few years, I would play League of Legends ARAM quite often. And then I think this year, I found myself playing it significantly less. And I'm happy for that. I'm putting League and was played to pastime. What is League? Ugh, toxicity is what League is. I think my most toxic self comes out when I play League of Legends. It's my most toxic version of myself comes out when I play Overwatch and League of Legends and Marvel Rivals. So I am very glad to say that I've played a lot less League of Legends this year. So I'm putting it in was past to play the time. So this is very controversial. I'm gonna be putting Valorant in my game of the year. Like, I don't know what it is. You love Arcane. I'm so glad it's not based on anything. Honestly, same. I think Arcane 2, tiny bit disappointing, but overall as a series, it was great. Nothing like League. But back to Valorant, I think hot take of me putting Valorant in my game of the year. Thanks to Kyoko, I got into playing Valorant. So I think I mentioned it briefly before, but my first experience playing Valorant was very overwhelming. Like, I get that Valorant is very technical, but as a new player, I don't know all of this. So I was so overwhelmed the first time I was playing it that I gave up on it very quickly. But I really enjoy playing Valorant just by myself. Like, it's weird to say. Like, I play Swift Play almost every single day to do my dailies so I can finish the battle pass. I've finished the last 3 or 4 battle passes on Valorant 100% to the end, including the epilogue chapters. Because I play to do the weeklies, I do my dailies, I buy the skins I like. I'm concerned. So this is something I've said to some people before. I am very skin driven. So if there's a skin I like in a game, you know I like the game when I will commit early to buying skins. Because in a way, it's to show that I enjoy the game if I own a skin. So Valorant got me real good with those skins because Valorant is so interesting where the weapons have animations, they have glows, they have sounds, they have sound effects, they have VFX. Like, they're so intricate with the gun skins that what really got me into playing Valorant was me wanting to get my favorite skins for the guns I use. Because surprisingly, I don't want to just buy any skin, because if the sound does not interest me or does not like tickle my fancy, it legitimately is distracting. So when I first started playing with Kyoko, the Ivori Dreamwings bundle came out. People call it the Star Guardian bundle because it's like very magical girl. I'll pull up a picture of it. Ivori Dreamwings. So this was the bundle. It's very magical girl. So I was drawn into it because I love the Star Guardian theme in League. But I have an issue with this, is that the sound is so unbearable. It's very high-pitched, pingy, tinny. It was legitimately distracting. So even though I bought it when I first started playing, I don't use it anymore because it hurts my ears. So my goal was to get the skins I wanted on Valorant. And what I'm now concerned about is that I've gotten a lot of the skins I want. So will my drive to keep playing Valorant stay the same in the next season? Who knows? The next character is a beefy, muscular man from Colombia, so maybe, who knows? But I just really enjoyed myself playing Valorant. Like, I don't play unrated, I don't play comp, I play swift play. The matches are 10 to 12 minutes long, or shorter even. And it's low stress because it feels like my skill is enough to compete, and I don't feel like anything's bullshit. Like, okay, I think I ranted about it maybe earlier, but Overwatch 2 and Marvel Rivals, to me, there's like certain things on a bullshit meter of like, that's bullshit. Like, that should not have killed me. But it ends up killing me, and I'm just like, okay, whatever. A few things like that happen. So, Valorant, I was a big fan of this year. I think it really did get me through a lot of my boredom of like, I just got off work, don't know what to do, play Valorant a little bit, do other games. Hot take. This one is interesting. I'm going to be putting Craftopia in disappointed. So I heard a lot of good things about Craftopia. I know that Craftopia was the same creators of Palworld, but it was their first project. And I actually heard a lot of good things about it. But when I first opened it, boy, was it bad. Like, it looked bad, the graphics were bad, the optimization was bad, the UI was bad. It looked like someone made it on their free time. And I was so disappointed that I really just did not even play it. I didn't even give it a good chance. I was just so disappointed. I'll be putting this Craftopia in disappointed. Another game that I don't think even needs to be on this tier list is Dead by Daylight. I am a giant pussy. I cannot play scary games. I'm going to be putting Dead by Daylight, and it wasn't for me. I tried to play it again. I downloaded it and I got scared again during the tutorial, so I just gave up. I think I've said before, but one of my biggest fears is being chased. So I think because like that's Dead by Daylight's entire gameplay cycle is just like, I hate being chased. Like, I can't. So Dead by Daylight wasn't for me for sure. To be honest, I didn't even play much of this upcoming game, but I'm very excited for it. It is Luma Island. It is a sort of retro-styled farming game. And the art style reminds me a lot of my Sims. I played the demo when it was the demo week a few weeks back on Steam. Loved it. I bought it. I haven't really got my chance to play it yet. But I'm gonna put it in. I think I'm gonna put it in. It was a game for now, just because I don't have a formal opinion. but I am looking forward to playing it more in the future. A few of these games are also were late November, December 2023, but I'm going to count them because it's within my mind of games I've played recently. American Arcadia. It's weird. Okay, so American Arcadia is about a man who figures out his entire life is a TV show. Very much the Truman Show. But basically, you sort of get... Man, it's been so long. Where basically his entire life is being recorded for TV. And people can go watch these people on TV. And depending on how big of a following you have on this network, you sort of kind of like earn your stay. If you fall below a certain amount of ratings, what happens is that you're basically offered like a free vacation. And when you are taken on this vacation, they kill you. Like they get rid of you, basically. Because this entire world is within a bubble of like the in the country. And these people are born, raised, and like live in this bubble to sort of be entertainment for the people. And it was just so interesting. I love short, quick games like this. Well, not even that short. How long was it? It was 7 hours, and I loved all of it. Like, it was just such a good game. Dead by Daylight has you in a chokehold whenever you pick it up. Oh god, I'm it's weird because like I can watch people play it, but I can't play it myself. Like I think it's the atmosphere, the sound, the killers, like it's when I get in that moment, I feel like I'm gonna have a heart attack. But to me, American Arcadia is just one of those games that I played last year that I was like, I loved this. So I'm only putting it in a game of the year. So this is Master Detective Archives Rain Code. I'm gonna be putting this in disappointed. So as a big fan of Danganronpa 1, Danganronpa 2, not much Danganronpa 3. I think Danganronpa 3 is the worst game. I was really, really looking forward to Master Detective Archives. But I didn't like the main character, I didn't like the partner, I didn't like how linear it was, I didn't like the performance. First of all, I played Master Detective Archives on my Switch and it was so bad. It was so bad. Because who would have guessed that in a game called Master Detective Archives Rain Code, the game would be raining all day. And do you know what Nintendo Switch cannot handle? Rendering rain all day. It was so laggy. It was so bad. You've never played any Danganronpa game. You've only been told to avoid... Ultra Despair Girls, I think is what it's called. Ultra Despair Girls is like a spin-off, kind of. It is technically canon in universe, I believe, but like it's not, it doesn't play anything like the other Master Detectives games. But Ultra Despair Girls is part of the lore. I never played it either, to be honest. I think I watched a video of someone playing it. But I love Danganronpa, but Master Detectives Archives is not it. It was actually very, very disappointing. So the next game is The Great Ace Attorney Chronicles, which I'm going to be putting in a great time playing. Because I was so excited when this game got announced, because The Great Ace Attorney Chronicles is one of those games where I thought we would never get because of how it's all in like a old school Japan. I thought they would never translate it, and I still have not finished the second game. It's bad. I'm so bad at finishing visual novels, but this is why I think I need a Steam Deck. I feel like a Steam Deck would solve my issues of not finishing visual novels, because if I could just sit in my bed and like play like I normally would like back when I was a kid, maybe I would finish them more. But Ace Attorney Chronicles, great OST, great music, great story for the first game. I'm not finished the second game, but great time playing. I'm hoping to finish it sometime this year. Lost in Play, I'll be putting in It Was a Game. I got this in my short stint of like, I want short, cute, point and click style, visual novel, story-based puzzle-y games. It came off of me finishing American Arcadia. When I finished American Arcadia, I was so invested in like trying to find more short games. Because I don't know. Just like that video, I have trouble really justifying boring like 70, 80 plus hours in a game. So when I can find a game that I can finish in like 5, 6, 7 hours, I am so glad, because it's like, it feels more of a payoff. Mega Man Battle Network Legacy Collection Part 1. I'm going to be putting it in It Was a Game. I think I learned that I think the Mega Man Battle Network games were very much a game I enjoyed as a kid because I had so much free time. I still love Battle Network, the Mega Man series. I just don't know if I can justify playing the games now. You started to play Battle Network 1 and that game is rough, so you moved on to the X series. Yeah. Like, I feel like the game is very much a relic of its past. It's so grindy. It's so tedious. I even turned on like the Mega Blaster mode where the Mega Blaster does like 100 damage because I wanted to like grind through the first bit like so quickly. But then I just never found myself going back to it because it just like grindy. I still love them. I loved the Mega Man Battle Network games as a kid. They were so fun. I loved them so much as a kid. Part of me is because you have a grudge from dying to Iceman EXE and have to redo the whole dungeon. Like, I want to get to playing the Mega Man games again, but I don't know. I have a lot on my plate. Monster Hunter Rise. I want to be putting Monster Hunter Rise in great time playing. I played Monster Hunter Rise on the Switch when it first came out, and I loved it. Like, I absolutely loved it. But I dropped it because none of my friends were playing it. And then the thing is, I had this like resurgence of like wanting to play a Monster Hunter game because of Grand Blue Fantasy Relink. Grand Blue Fantasy Relink got me really wanting to play another Monster Hunter type game. So I picked up Rise again and I played it from the beginning on my PC. But then I heard the issues that Monster Hunter Rise has on PC, and it's that there's no cross-platform and there's region lock for multiplayer. So because it came out on Switch, most people play on the Switch, and anyone who is playing on the PC is stuck by region lock. So the thing I liked about Monster Hunter Rise is that you are able to queue into content directly, just like you would in Final Fantasy. You want to fight this boss? Okay, click that boss and you can queue into it with multiplayer and you'll be put into a team with it. But if you have it on a certain console, you're locked to only being searched by that console. And of course, playing the game after it had come out for a while the multiplayer is dead. And when I looked up on it online, people were saying, just hack through all the low-level content. You don't need to fight it. Just have one-shot hacks and kill everything so you can get caught up and do the high-level content. And I'm like, no. That is bad. If your reasoning is that if you want to play the game, you have to hack to get caught up to it, to me, that is bad. I'm not going to do that. So I tediously grinded through all of high rank to get to low level master rank. And then by the time I got to master rank, I was burnt out. So I quit at that point. But I love the gameplay of Rise. I know people hate it. People say it's too easy. People say it's too simple. I just loved the aspect of queue into monster, find monster, kill the monster. Something I absolutely hated in Monster Hunter World was how long it took to do a hunt. Because I don't think I have to be hunting for a monster for 10 minutes to be able to kill it. It just felt like a waste of time. I'm hoping they don't do it in Wilds. I barely remember the demo, so we'll see. Content warning. I played content warning because of the hype of YouTube, Twitch collaboration streams this year. It's very much like Lethal Company, where you go into a dungeon and you basically are supposed to be acting like YouTubers and recording creepy things. I think my experience was with the wrong set of people, and I think because of that, it just wasn't for me. You love Rise, but this keeps the tried and true statement of the best onboarding experience for someone to Monster Hunter is having a friend who knows the game to take you through it. Exactly. Like, you need to be playing Monster Hunter with someone, because playing it by yourself kind of sucks sometimes. But content warning wasn't for me. I feel like I would rather play something like Lockdown Protocol. I don't own Lockdown Protocol, but I felt like I would rather play something like that over content warning, because it's a very similar game of like you're in a set environment with people and you play it like that. I kind of want to do these in a different order. Dawn Trail. Take 2. I think I'm going to put Dawn Trail in Game of the Year for me. I don't know what it is. Like, I was looking at it when I was doing, let me see. Let me find it. Some people, I did this recently. I posted it on all my socials recently. But I recently did a thing of like my Final Fantasy year in pictures. So I did this. I posted it on my Discord, my personal Discord, my streaming Discord. I posted it on Twitter. Like, looking back through this, it made me realize how much I really enjoyed playing Final Fantasy this year. Like, I haven't had this much enjoyment playing Final Fantasy in a very long time. I think as someone who was a Dawn Trail ride or die hater, I was not looking forward to Dawn Trail. But I think getting back into modding, getting back into screenshotting, getting back into raiding, like, I really love raiding. Like, are you going to do Cloud of Darkness Chaotic with your group? We tried it this week on, was it New Year's? Was it Christmas? I don't remember. We did it Sunday, I think, on Sunday. We tried it the most recent Sunday. It did not go well, because we realized the trouble with doing chaotic is Party Finder, because Party Finder has no patience. People expect you to clear in 3 pulls, even if it's a learning party. We had our full alliance, and within 20 minutes, 5 people left. In one alliance, 5 people left. And after that, what happens is that people take the opportunity to leave. So as soon as one person left, the entire alliance was empty. And this is why you don't raid, as I don't want to mess with party finder as you're by yourself. Like, that's the worst thing. It's like, I hate party finder. Because as a Final Fantasy, like, long-time war veteran at this point, Final Fantasy players have gotten so mean over the years. Like, you can be a pretty or very handsome looking character, but deep down inside, you're probably nasty. And that's how I think about everyone I see in Final Fantasy now. Because deep down, I can even say that about myself. So it's just like, Final Fantasy players are so mean now that I can't really trust doing Party Finder with anything anymore. Because it's just like, people can be so mean. But like, Dawn Trail story, to me, very interesting. Rating, very interesting. Screenshotting, I'm having the time of my life. I'm loving my Highlander again. Like, I think I posted it on my Final Fantasy Twitter. Where basically, coming into Dawn Trail, I was so concerned about losing my Highlander. Because as modders do, we get very attached to appearances of our characters. And I was very, very worried of like, coming into Dawn Trail, am I going to lose the appearance of my Highlander that I've grown to love for such a long time? So I was very scared of losing my character. And like, I know it's silly because like, as a modder, like people should not get attached to stuff that isn't official and blah blah blah. But like, as someone who I literally fantasied over drama in the game, and like looking at my Final Fantasy character made me very unhappy. I was very scared that losing my Highlander in Dawn Trail would make me not continue playing Dawn Trail. I'll fight anyone who messes with my character. I don't care which one it is. Low key. And yeah, they are living their Mean Girls fantasy. I wanted to snooze this ad. But like, Dawn Trail to me was just such a pivotal point of like, will I keep playing? And I don't know. I think this past like 6 months of playing Final Fantasy has just been very fun to me. Like, I don't know. It's been crazy to me. I don't think I've played this much Final Fantasy in a very long time. And I'm looking forward to it. Like, I'm doing an ultimate. Like, I never thought I would be doing an ultimate. And I'm having fun with it. Though some of you guys, two of you might watching me might not think I'm having a great time, but I'm enjoying doing ultimate because it's just like, it's challenging. It's something I've never done before, and I want to finish it. So like, I'm really enjoying playing Final Fantasy right now. Originally, when I was putting the tier list maker together, I was like already thinking of like where I would place certain games, and I didn't think I would put Dawn Trail in Game of the Year. But I love Dawn Trail. Like, it reinvigorated my passion for playing Final Fantasy again. Oddly. Because I think I've had bad experiences with End of Shadowbringers, End of Endwalker. I just did not have the best time playing Final Fantasy. Like, events happened, made me not play, or I didn't enjoy Endwalker, so it just made me not play. I wish you could say the same, as you're in the opposite experience of a lot of your friends have dropped the game after like the third week of the raid being out. Oh, I'm sorry about that. I think it's like, well, if I'm being honest, I'm not playing like every single day for like hours on end. Like, I literally do my daily. I log in, I do beast tribes, I do both the beast tribes, I do my ventures. Sometimes I gather my map. Back before the PvP outfit, like before I hit level 25, I would do PvP roulette every day. And sometimes maybe I'll take a picture. I'll go take a screenshot. And then I would just like have fun. But now it's mainly me doing like my daily beast tribes, maybe log in, take a few pictures, and that's it. And like, am I playing it like constantly? No, but like I'm having fun with it. Like I don't like it's crazy to me like when I look at my screenshot folder, like how much I've taken in just this month. Like it kind of makes me happy that I'm kind of enjoying my time. Because again, it's not like Final Fantasy is never going to be that game that I'll play like 24, like not 24/7, but like multiple hours a day again. Like on expansion, the release, of course, but like not anymore. Let's rank Fortnite. I think Fortnite, to me, has entered this weird phase of like, I don't find myself actually playing it to play the game anymore. I feel like I'm playing it just to collect skins. So I feel like I'm gonna put it in was played to pass time. This, like, I think if you asked me a year ago, I'll put Fortnite in like great time playing. But I just haven't really enjoyed the seasons that much because they're being very gimmicky in the past year. The past year, they had a whole superhero season, they had a whole Cars season. Also, as a heads up, an ad break is going to start in a minute. You log in, do society quests, and so you're doing the Muggles, the Namazu, the Dwarves, and the Pelu Pelu, and then you hop off. Yeah, that's pretty much what I do. Like, I usually go in with like screenshotting every so often in between and just doing the minimum. But then, like, I raid every Tuesday, Wednesday, and that's been very fun. A little bit draining, especially if we do Sundays. Like, Sundays gets really draining, but like Sunday, Tuesday, Wednesday gets super draining. But besides that, it's like super fun to me. Like, how long is my ad break? Is it? I know I do a 3-minute ad at the beginning, but I don't know if it does a 3-minute ad in between everything. Because that would be annoying. I'm so sorry. But Fortnite to me, I think has landed itself in this weird period of like, I don't know if I really enjoy playing it as much anymore. Again, I think Fortnite is one of those games I think I would enjoy more if I played it with other people, but like no one I know plays it anymore. You just wish you had a group to do some raids you like as you want to do the Endwalker extremes and the current extremes. And you only have a few clears on Skyruin. That's it. Yeah, I feel the same way. Like, I'm such a weird person when it comes to doing content in Final Fantasy, because you're, oh yeah, you did. Like, man. Party Finder is just mean. Like, so the thing about me with Final Fantasy is like, if I'm not doing content with a pre-made, I'd rather just not do the content at all. Because I think I grew really spoiled. Like after having an old FC that I would do everything with, and then having no one to do it with, and then now having a raid group that I do most stuff with again, it's like I'd rather prefer to do stuff with people. Like I still think about my old raid group that fell apart, and I still feel a little bit sad about it. It's like they were really good friends to me, though some people were not. But I tried to think past that, and I'm like, maybe they did that for a reason, or they maybe had their reasonings for it at the time. But like, I don't really speak to like one of them anymore. But sometimes I wonder, like, if things could be different. Okay. I randomly got into like TFT this year. And I think I'm also just going to put it in play to pass the time because I'm not really hardcore on TFT. I think TFT was just a game I really got into to pass time, because it's like when I'm watching things, I don't want to just sit here and like veg. I want to just like try to at least do something with my time, like play something random on the side while I'm watching videos or whatnot. So I think TFT is just one of those games of like, it's fun, but I'm not going to be playing TFT for the long run. I kind of really only really played TFT to like when I'm super, 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 super bored is when I do play TFT. You refuse to do PF for anything. Low-key same. I don't think I can get, I don't have the motivation to do PF. But okay. And then I put this here twice, but I think it's because I should really specify that this is mainly about Kingdom Hearts Final Mix. I think I'm gonna put it in great time playing. Like, I think I get it now. Like, I think I get why people like Kingdom Hearts, even though I think Kingdom Hearts 1 is probably not the one Kingdom Hearts people would recommend. So to me, it's like, I think I get it. I think I get why people are, like, Kingdom Hearts has such a cult following, why it's so, like, hyped. Like, I think I get it now. Because sometimes it's like, to me, I was worried Kingdom Hearts was going to be like Persona 3 Reload. Of like, I hear so many people talk about it, and I'm like, okay, so what's the big deal? Like, is it actually that good? That's why I think when I came into Persona 3 Reload, I was so disappointed. Again, I'm a bigger hater of Persona Reload than me is. uh, but coming into Kingdom Hearts, I was like, my best friend loves this game. I am so, I've always been interested in Kingdom Hearts. And I've come to the understanding the story is not the selling point of Kingdom Hearts. It is the experience. It is not peak storytelling. Because I think many people would agree with me that Kingdom Hearts makes absolutely no sense. But to me, I just enjoyed the worlds. I just enjoyed the music. I enjoyed the vibe. It was just like, it's fun. I haven't even finished Kingdom Hearts 1. I'm very close. I think I'm at Hollow Bastion. And then I guess I'll just put this here too. Like, I'm very looking forward to starting Kingdom Hearts 2. I think I've discussed with my friends already that I'm probably going to skip Chain of Memories. And I'm probably just going to watch a video of the story for Chain of Memories, because I don't think I'm going to enjoy the card battle the card battle system. So I'd rather just watch a video for the story. And then I think I'm going to jump directly into Kingdom Hearts 2 after I finish Kingdom Hearts 1. Which I'm kind of excited for. If I had to, I'm going to re-rank some of these in here. The story can be a selling point for some people, but it's mainly all the character moments that really connect with people. There's something so genuine about it. Yeah. I think, like, to me, I enjoy the personality of the characters more than the story. And I know that the story will probably make sense as I play the other ones too. I'm going to probably put Metaphor as number 1 for Game of the Year. Dawn Trail as number 3. Yeah, I think that makes sense. Metaphor, Relink, Dawn Trail, Warframe, American Arcadia, and then Valorant. For great time playing, actually, I'm not going to rank the rest. I think just my Game of the Years I'm going to rank, because I think that's what matters the most. Okay. And that's the full tier list.